Place is not live. It's welcome to Devon Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak, now with WDRB Media, so a little bit of a change. And we are welcoming our first official guest to the new station that's on FM radio, Trenace K. Welcome.
Hey.
Now, we're here today to talk about your wonderful new book that was just released or getting ready to release, Embrace Your Crown, a Time Management Handbook.
It is so exciting. This is my first book in like 5 years.
Well, we're going to get more books out of you.
Yes, definitely.
So what led to this book?
So this was one of two projects that I was working on. And with me, when I'm writing something, it's something that I'm really thinking about. I'm processing. This is something that I'm going through. So if I'm going through it, I know somebody else is going through it too. The other thing, fortunate and unfortunately about me, is I can't finish until I've actually processed that thing, which means that the other project is on hold. So time management is important to me because I do a lot of things. And the other part of that is I don't want to live my life doing a lot of things. I want to live a life experience. Yes, I'm a published author. Yes, I'm a speaker. Yes, I'm a mother. I'm a grandma. I'm all of those things. But outside of that, I want to know how to live my life. And if I don't effectively use my time, then all I will be is stuff and not have any enjoyment.
Exactly. And that's something we all go through. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mother, if you're anyone, we all have the time management element that we have to master.
Definitely. What I started learning is as my children started leaving the house, is that I had more time to figure out who I was. And dare I say, I was struggling because I had so much time because all of my children were grown and they were not in the house. And now what am I going to do with me? And that's something that women of a certain age begin to think about. I've invested all of this time raising children, getting a career with my spouse, and now my children are gone and my project is no longer here. What do I like to do? So I think it's important before you experience that to learn how to manage your time so you don't hit that wall of what do I like to do? What can I do? Who do I like to be around?
Well, that's one thing. I mean, it's all, what do we do now? I mean, I went through it when I had my daughter graduating. Well, I no longer have to get up at a certain time to take her to school. So what am I going to do now? Now I fill it with hours and hours of stuff that may or may not be positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always good stuff that we fill our time with. We have hey, we have a new show on TV. We have, that new flavor popcorn that came out. Whatever it is. It's not necessarily the positive stuff that we fill ourselves with. Or then we go into 2020 and go, okay, I'm sick of TV. Now what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I have actually found is that more so, a lot of my friends, their children are going to college for the first time, and they are at home with their spouse, and they don't really know their spouse because we've been having this project of these kids. And now what do? I don't really have any friends. I don't know what I like anymore. I know what I used to like, but do I like these things? So for me, it started with 5 minutes when my children were at home because I had an understanding that one day, no matter what my oldest son said, sir, you were going to get a girlfriend. you were going to leave, it was not going to be you and I forever. It was not going to be that. My younger two are preparing to leave, but because I'm already prepared, I already know I'm going to be doing more traveling. I'm going to be doing more things that I like and finding out what else I might actually like. Because life is long and life is short, right? So when you think of as long, you want it's a journey. That's the long part of it. The short
Mhm.
part of it is next thing you know, you're on your deathbed and you've missed opportunities waiting because you didn't have time.
Mhm. And we just did a whole discussion a few minutes ago about missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait for another person to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have this entire wonderful event coming up, and people are going to miss out on it because they're afraid to go by themselves.
I find joy in going by myself. I get to really figure out, is this something I really like?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a new experience. Concerts, I love concerts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no-brainer for me. I can go to a concert every day. That's that's me. But the new experience that I tried was bike riding. They have this bike riding experience here in Houston. And I think that the whole experience is maybe 3 hours. I don't know last time I rode a bike. It was fun. Would I do it again? Hell yeah. I would do it again. Just because it was fun. But you don't want to miss out on opportunities just because nobody is going with me. And the thing about that is my friend, she had been going, she said nobody ever goes. And there I was with my friend riding the bike, and she was happy to see me. And we
Mm-hmm.
had that experience because I tried to come out, and so many times we won't even try.
Right.
We
I
won't even try.
I found out I love to travel. I love traveling better by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I love that quiet time. I loved going hiking. I love going by myself. Like your event that you have coming up. When is that? June,
June
July?
2nd, 2 days after the summer solstice.
Oh, see, that's why I have you here to talk about it, because I don't know the date right offhand. I know you have a couple VIP tickets left, and that people need to get a hold of you for.
Yeah. So this is not even an event. It's an experience. And you won't I think you may see Trenace a little bit, but you'll see your girl Tracy. You'll see my other personality, because I'm always told I guess we all have two personalities. We have our
Mhm.
professional and our
Mhm.
one outside of that. So you won't see the professional one. It's an experience where it's like you bring your girls, I bring my girls, we hang out, great conversation, great food, um, alcohol. I like a good cocktail. But the conversation is around self-love, self-care, femininity, and relationships. And not just romantic relationships. I think sometimes because we lack the development of our self-love seeds, which I talk about a lot, we don't know how to care for them, and that impacts on how we regulate our relationships, not just with our mates, but with our children, with our family, friends, and even our workspaces. Even if we're a CEO or somebody or the janitor, all of that regulates how we relate to other people.
Exactly. When you think about a relationship, it's your friends, it's your family, it's your children. It's not just your spouse or your significant other. It's
Mhm.
everyone that you connect with.
Right. And I think that there's been some embarrassment on. So the reason why I created this space initially was because my daughter and I had a mother and daughter event.
Mhm.
Um, and we still will continue to bridge the gap every year. But I thought, what a great thing would it be to help mothers and daughters communicate and connect with each other if each woman could connect with herself as an individual. The relationship between mother and daughter would be different because mom's relationship would be different with who she was as an individual outside of being mommy.
Exactly. How I talk to my daughter when she's an individual versus how I talk to my daughter because she's my daughter is two different tones. Even though my voice changes. Like if I'm talking to my daughter because I'm teaching her something because I'm mom, or she's doing something that's wanting me to pull out my hair.
Right.
It's one way I talk to you. But if I'm talking to her as an individual because I want her to grow as an individual, it's a completely different conversation because the mindset's different.
I would say so. I would agree. There are conversations that I have with my daughter. Sometimes they're easy breezy, and other times they're tough because they're adults, and you don't want to step on their toes with their adult making decisions. But you know, sometimes you just have to. I don't know.
Oh, I know 100%. I mean, there's things that she writes in her books. I go, I can't do this. I can't read it. I'm sorry. I'm your mother. I can't. But at the same time, I'm like, yay, she's doing this on her own. I'm so proud. There's a duality that we have to bridge.
Right.
So your events do this, and it forces us in a positive way to bridge that gap.
But we don't really have the time. We don't have the time because we don't make the time. We spend a lot of time doing OPP, minding other people's projects. Not like, well, kind of like that song by Naughty by Nature, but kind of not. Minding other people's property, minding other people's projects, minding other people, and not investing enough time in ourselves. Prioritizing us, because a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I was made to feel guilty when I chose to do something for me.
Oh, I had to cut away my entire family because they made me feel guilty about doing things. Because we get, especially us women, we get, you're being selfish. You should be speaking about, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing anything but what's making you happy. In reality, that's not where life goes. You have to do things for yourself.
The thing is, I think that when there's an understanding, when I learn how to prioritize me, you get the best out of me. All of what I poured into me is an overflow to you. I still work a regular day job. On Thursday, it was horrible. And I'm known at work to take a mental health day. And that's what I did. I took a mental health day and I slept late. And I think I watched some anime. And then I sent some text messages out. But when I went back to work today, you got the best out of me today. But just imagine if you learn how to prioritize yourself daily, the people, places, and things that were connected to you will be in the overflow of your goodness. Because maybe you rested. Maybe you took yourself out to eat. Maybe you laid in the bed and rubbed your feet together and did nothing. I don't know. Whatever that thing is that gives you some time to do whatever something or nothingness that you want to do for yourself. That's a benefit to everybody that's connected to you directly and indirectly. And when you learn how to manage your time appropriately, you can say no to things that you just don't want to do. And you can say absolutely yes to the things that you know make your heart happy.
Exactly. Now you have another book that you're rewriting that we're going to be publishing sometime this year. Now, it's an anthology, but we don't know if we're going to publish the other stories or not. I know I'm going to publish yours, even if this is novella. But so you said something the other day in a text message that you didn't want to redo this book because it didn't resonate where you are in your life?
It doesn't. Because when I go back to when I was writing this particular book, the whole publishing experience was horrible. The whole creative process was not there. Um, the partnership with the authors, it wasn't the level of partnership that I expected. But nonetheless, the book was published. When I started writing the book, I was, I guess I'll say I was in love with this guy. And it was just us saying crazy things on social media. And it became a book because people assume, oh, she's working on something. She's working on something. I wasn't. So me not working on anything created this thing. And the title of the book is Dear Future Husband. And it's what is it called? I think it's something like, I actually have the book here. It's something like, I don't know, the love letters to something, whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's love letters to my future husband or something like that. And my perspective of marriage in 2018 is completely different than it is in 2024. As a matter of fact, the whole thought process changed 3 years ago. The whole thought process, because who I am in this new content, this new book is me on my next level. So I I I still play too much.
To play. We're women. We're allowed to play.
I still play too much. A lot of people who don't know me at that level, when they start reading it, they were like, "You are so silly." Yeah, I am. I'm still silly, but there are other things about marriage that I don't necessarily agree with.
Well,
So
at the same time, if there's a woman out there that's in where you were 3-5 years ago, now they have a book they can read. Now they can also pick up your new book and see where you are today. Maybe get there quicker.
that's a thought. That's a thought. That's definitely a thought. I
I
hadn't
mean, I
even.
have a whole series of books. I don't know if you even know. I have 12 books on abuse that all have journals. I know I sent you one.
Mm-hmm.
I am not in that mind frame today. Would I write those books today? Oh, hell no. Because if I'm writing those books today, I'm going to have my brother Antonio, my sister Diana, and my cousin Trenace go beat someone up. You know?
Right. I think that we have been fooled about what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
I think we have been duped, and we have swallowed the red pill, the blue pill, whichever pill it was. And womanhood is not. First of all, it wasn't explained to us what it was about, but it is definitely not what we have seen all the time. Being feminine is not about high heels and lipstick, because you can still be masculine and dress feminine. It has nothing to do with dress. Self-care is more than getting your hair done. That's maintenance. That's maintenance. Getting your nails done, that's maintenance. Um, Being able to care for yourself and truly care for yourself is having your physical once a year. That is self-care. It's not ignoring the fact that, well, I had one last year. I was fine last year. These are all elements of womanhood that we are too busy to handle, because our time says we got to play Uber to our kids. We're not going to get a good meal, so we're going to stop by McDonald's or Burger King or Whataburger or wherever to have some unhealthy food, because the only way we can manage this time to drop our kids off is to stop by this place and have some food.
Yep.
And then we're not going to get a good night's rest because heaven forbid we get some rest. Me, I get my rest, but heaven forbid you not get rest. My body requires 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I don't know about anybody else, but I know I am a beast if I don't get that time.
Have you ever talked to me before 6 hours of sleep minimum? You don't want to talk to me. I will bite your head off. You know,
So,
I'm not the nice person then. But we as women, we have been told by our families, our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, you paint your lips, keep them closed. You put yourself in a relationship that isn't good, suck it up, you put it there. That's not healthy. That's not what we need. You have to practice the self-care to attract the positive in your life.
I saw a video on social media like a couple of days ago, and it was, I guess, the mother, she bundled these items up in this bag, and they described it as passing the trauma to the next generation. So she passed this bundle of stuff to her daughter, and then she looked at her daughter and started to hand it to her, and she just unbundled it. And unfortunately, a lot of times, unknowingly and unwillingly, we are passing these same things down to our daughters. To our and our aunts are giving it to us, our grandmothers are giving the people that we trust the most, that they think that they are helping us by telling us certain things. You don't deserve, when you're a mother, you don't get a break. When you get a job, you work as hard as you can. You don't take a vacation. And they given us all of these things. And then when you think about it, when you look over your life, because I'm 53 now, and my grandmother worked and worked and worked, and she was sick and she would work, and she passed sooner than she should have because she worked, because she felt like she needed to take care of whatever she felt like she needed to take care of. And many times when we don't learn how to let go of these traumas that were passed down, that's a part of not being able to manage our time, because we put ourselves within these social norms of what other women are telling us. Right now, there is a conversation about mothers staying at home, or women staying at home as stay-at-home mothers and wives, in comparison to women who go out and work in the workforce. For me, I remember staying at home with my kids for a while after I had them, and it was just the best thing to me. When I worked from home and my children went to school, that was just the best thing for me. And I don't think there should be any shame in a woman. That doesn't make her any less of a woman because she's staying at home.
No.
It doesn't make her any more of a woman because she's going out to work.
I love the 2 years I had Cheyenne home and I was homeschooling. There's so much more I could teach her that way. Not just what she was learning in school. We made clothes. We actually make our own clothes because I taught her how to do it. When you're able to be at home with your kids, you're able to teach them more. When you're away working 8 hours, you come home, you stop at McDonald's, pick up dinner, pass out on the couch because you're too tired to do anything. It's what do you want to teach your kids? Because my daughter picked up, mommy works X amount of hours. Mommy's always tired. I don't want to be that, but I want to be independent and have my own money. So how can I pair the two? Well, she wrote books. She sells candy like door to door now. But, this is what she picked up. I want to have my own money, but I don't want to work to the point where I'm passed out on the couch.
Yeah. I think that there needs to be a re-education of not only women, but people in the United States. Definitely. I worked at a doctor's office. I did an internship, and he had a 2-hour lunch. France has a 2-hour lunch. He was like, "Well, so what are you gonna do?" I was like, "2 hours?" Saying, "Well, in France, you take a nap." I was like, "Well, I love a nap. If you know me, I love a nap."
Mhm.
So I was okay with the napping, but I think this this facade of work life balance is not true, and that's another scam that
Mhm.
puts us in a position to not manage our time wisely, because you're spending how much of your day, 8 hours of your day at work,
Mhm.
living somebody else's dream, working somebody else's dream. And then like me, I have to sleep the 8 hours, but every once in a while, I stay up and watch a little bit of TV. But I have projects to do. If I didn't work 8 hours, then I could spend more time on the gifts that were given to me and the responsibilities of supporting women be their best self and helping girls figure out who and what they really want to be outside of what society says that if I didn't have to work, then I could do that. So then something has to suffer. My work can't suffer because that's what financially pays for me to be able to pay for my dreams.
Mhm.
But then if I don't sleep, then I mean at the place that pays for me to sleep, have my dreams. So I think that womanhood needs to definitely be reevaluated.
Yes.
It needs to be a conversation, and the reevaluation is based on having a conversation. What does this really mean? What does this really look like? Um, Now there's trending soft life. I know you've heard that
Mhm.
trending topic. Soft life. What is that really looking like? Time management.
Well,
Everything goes back to time management. Everything.
okay, so there's a debate right now about going to a 4-day work week without losing your hours or your pay. So then you have 3 days off instead of two. Exactly, if you're taking the 3 days off, I worked in the factory before. I worked 4 days and had 3 days off. What are you doing during those 3 days?
I know how to fill my time. I know those 3 days, I know I am going to get a nap. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I know those 3 days I'm going to invest in whatever I'm working on. The book, the workbook, a project. I know that I'm going to do that. I do know I'm going to watch some anime. I know that's going to happen within that time. But I think because we feel, what's the word that I want to use? Because we feel like our time is minimized. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to try to do everything that we can do. We're going to run errands.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to run a whole bunch of errands. Now, see, me, what I learned a couple of years ago, before we started having our Thursday class, Thursday was the night that I did my cleaning so that I could have the weekends free to do whatever nothingness or something that I wanted to do. So the weekends will be a true weekend if I did my basic chores on Thursday. That means run the vacuum, do the dusting. If there was laundry to do, you could break the laundry up throughout the day. But seeing how I'm an adult and I only have to wash my clothes, I can, do that thing. You have to figure out how to manage your time. And another thing that I've learned is spend the money. Just spend the money. You working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spend the money. You don't want to do laundry. You don't have time for laundry. Take the stuff out and let somebody do it. The laundromat 2 miles from me. If you bring your clothes there, they will wash them and fold them. You'll pay a fee for them to wash and fold your clothes. You go back and pick them up. Certain days of the week, they offer a discount. There you go.
Exactly. It's all about your time management. One, you have to make sure you still have an income. We're not saying quit your job and do nothing. We're saying use your time wisely.
That's right.
Because someone out there, oh, I can quit my job and I'll be fine. No, 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 you can't do that. You have to have income coming in some way, somehow. At the same time, figure out what you can pay to have done for you so you could free out your time so you can do something you actually want to do. For me, that would be creating another line of income. For Trenace, she is going to be planning an event or writing a book or some other project.
Yeah. So what the other thing is that I think about is we all get the same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of us are screaming, there's not enough time in the day. There is.
Mm-hmm.
There is. You just have to be intentional with your time. Maybe you use a paper calendar, a desk calendar. I use that. Maybe you use your phone. I use it, but halfway. Maybe you use a journal. Use something to manage your time. We don't have to do everything. And I usually don't like to talk about the Bible and things, but everybody likes to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, how she was so awesome and how she did this, that, and the other thing. What people neglect to see is that she had a team of people. She wasn't doing all of that by herself. It said that she woke up to feed her team. She woke up in the morning to cook food for her team. Not she woke up to cook food. She fed her team for her team to do all of the things that she could not do. She delegated. And we need to learn how to train our team, our children, our spouses.
Mm-hmm.
We need to train our team to help us. We need to learn how to say no. Ooh, that's the most common one. Say no. You don't have to go to every party. You don't have to go to every sporting event. Well, I am going to say this. You don't have to go every time your husband wants you to ride with him somewhere. You don't have to. Baby, do you need a supervisor? I want to stay at home. You have to learn how to navigate your time, because guess what? Everybody else is navigating their time. You just not navigating yours. When your children want to do something without you, they say, "No, mommy, I want to go hang out with my friends." You see how they'll adjust their time. Your husband says, "Well, I want to go play golf with my boys." Leave you sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with your friends. You may want to do something with your friends, but they don't want to do it because guess what? They found something else to do. So you have to learn how to say no and not have a sense of I want to call it undeveloped compassion to do things for people to prove your value in yourself. Because you're valuable whether you do these things for other people or not. You're valuable. You're important. You're worthy. And a lot of times I found myself in positions saying yes to things that I just did not want to do.
I think we've all been in places that we do things because we think we have to. Well, guess what? There's a two-letter word that we need to learn how to use more often. It is the word no. Millionaires, billionaires use the word 90% of the time. And it's no, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you want to do something doesn't mean it fits into my lifestyle. You go do you, I'll do me, and we'll be happy.
Right. So that's important. Don't what I've learned more recently, since I've learned how to say no, I don't give you a reason why, because I don't give you the opportunity to manipulate my no into a yes. And that's the trick of no. Why no? Why not? Because I don't feel like it. I don't owe you an answer. And it's not rude. That's actually self-care.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's not
actually,
being selfish. It's taking care of you.
yeah.
If you
So
don't take care of you, who is?
that's the point right there. My baby sister was telling me years ago when she used to work for, I'm not going to say,
Mm-hmm.
she used to work for this company part time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a person who everybody really liked this lady at the office, and she was a very young woman. And she died. And they started interviewing for her position in less than 3 weeks. They put a plaque up with her name and her picture on it.
Mm-hmm.
But she was gone. She had been overworked and probably not taking care of herself like she should have. And here she was gone and now being replaced. And there's a plaque.
I remember when I was going through my strokes and my medical crisis in 2011, my job was replaced in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Your job isn't going to remember you
Mm-mm.
6 weeks after you leave.
Mm-mm. I was joking with my supervisor, the office manager, like a couple of months ago about the attrition at the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one person in particular. She started, I think she may have lasted a week. I'm not sure. But I say, what is her name? And he named her. I say, how do you know her name? He's like, oh, because she was on the spreadsheet. And I had just looked at it. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody will remember you. I liken that to an anime that I'd actually watched about these people. They had these blue lights, and when their blue light flickered away to nothing, they just
Mm-hmm.
disappeared and nobody remembered them. And that's how you'll be at a workplace. Nobody will remember how hard you work. Nobody will remember those long hours you spent. Nobody will remember the time that you had 400 vacation hours and didn't take that. Nobody will remember that. Nobody. So manage your time. Take your days off. Take your PTO. Take your sick days.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to go somewhere. Maybe you want to go nowhere, but you don't want to be there. That time management is the key to your success in life, in everything.
Exactly.
That's
I
your
have,
wellness.
like, I'm managing next week, I think it is. I'm going to South Carolina. I know when I go down to South Carolina, I have a meeting at 1 o'clock. I have a meeting at 5 o'clock. They're in two different cities. They're 2.5 hours apart. I have to make sure I get there. And I can't let my first appointment run over because it's going to make me late for my second appointment.
Right.
And then the next day, I have a meeting at 9 a.m. And then I have another meeting in another city, an hour and a half away again, that I don't want to be late for there either. You have to manage your time. But these are clients that I wouldn't have if I didn't know how to manage the time. But we are almost out of time for the day, unfortunately. Let's talk about time management. So what's the name of your book? One more time, even though I have it scrolling across the screen if you're watching the video.
Embrace Your Crown, a Time Management Handbook. A workbook is coming soon. I'm working on a workbook. Just because you can read a thing, but action, you need to learn how to take active actions. And I don't know about you, but for me, writing things down, that connects in my brain. Um, so a workbook. We are working on a workbook on how you can effectively change your life, learning how to manage your time.
Now, you also have the event coming up in just a few weeks in June, and then another one coming up later this year. So if someone wants to connect with you about your events, how do they do that?
So the sexy summer solstice soiree is a thing that the experience that you didn't know you needed until you miss it. That is June 22nd here in Houston. Um, you can find it on Instagram, a little bit on TikTok, some on Facebook, but it's there. You can buy your tickets on TicketBud, um, VIP, and general admission. Both you'll get food, both you get drinks, but you will not get that luscious VIP bag. I cannot express that enough.
And somehow, some way, I'm bringing you some sweetgrass vodka because it's the only thing I'm going to drink at your event. I don't care how else you make your margaritas. They're going to be made with sweetgrass because that's the only thing I drink.
Okay. So I'm going to be sharing the businesses that are participating in the VIP bag. I'm not going to share the product because you won't be surprised.
Exactly.
You
also have sponsorships for these events, don't you?
I do. I am connecting. I'm partnering for sponsorships, and what that means is you can't just say I want to be a part and invest your money. Partnerships mean I support you, you support me, and this is special to me because small businesses will forever be small businesses if we do not learn how to support and share each other. If you know you have leverage power, you have star power with the people, places, and things that are connected to you, it's just super beneficial for you to be able to partner with someone and share that business with someone else that might need it. Or they may not, but they may know somebody that does.
Exactly. But thank you for joining us today. We went a little bit over, but I'm sure it has so much information, no one's going to care. They love us anyways. But thank you.
Thank you for having me as your first guest. I did not know. I did not know I was your first guest. So thank you for letting me be your inaugural guest.
You're very welcome. I love making sure the people I know get first dibs at everything that I'm doing. This is how we work, though. This is how my partnerships work. The people I'm closest to get first dibs. The people I'm not closest to, you're going to get an email saying we're now part of WDRB Media, and you're welcome to come on the radio show.
Well, I'm going to get back to this workbook and sending out some more text because it seems that somebody has said, well, you sent such and such a text, but didn't send me. Let me send your text, okay? I'm going to send you your text. So apparently I have some more texts to send out.
I personally read more text messages than I do emails. So if you're emailing me, I probably won't see it. If you text message me through any media, I'll probably get back to you. But again, thank you, Trenace, and I can't wait to meet Tracy.
You've experienced her before.
Yes, I have. But now I get to spend an entire day with her. So
right.
This is going to be fun. We're going to be a little bit toasty, but we're good. Be good. And for our listeners and our viewers, happy reading.
Good night.